Hi, hello, this is Giri, teaching 10th Mathematics, the chapter Statistics. Here is the introduction and key points from the chapter. Now, first of all, here is the father of statistics. His name is Ronald A. Fisher. Ronald A. Fisher is said to be the father of statistics. He was born in 1890 and died in the year 1962. And he is an English statistician. He created foundations to the modern statistics. Now, an Indian mathematician who developed statistics is Prasant Chandra Mahalanobis. He was born in 1893 and died in the year 1972. He established Indian Statistical Institute. He contributed more to the development of statistics in India. Now, dear students, let us learn what is meant by statistics. Statistics is nothing but a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. I shall repeat, statistics is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. Now let us learn what is meant by data. Data is a collection of actual numerical information to organize and analyze the given information. This is called data. We come across the definition of statistics, which define as a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of the numerical data. Now let us understand what is meant by collection and what is meant by organization and what is meant by presentation and what is meant by analysis and interpretation. You see, for example, if we are in our class, in our classroom, a teacher is teaching in our classroom. If the teacher asks the students to tell the marks that they are secured in the recent format examination, the students may rise one by one and they may tell their marks like this: 45, second student may got 47, third one 38, 41, 32, 29, 35, 49, 19, 22, 48, 20, 30, 27, 41, 15, 42, 33, 22, 25, 38, 43, 17 and 31. These are the marks of all 24 students in the class out of 50 marks. If you see or if you observe these marks, can you tell whether these students are following the maths class? By looking at their marks, we cannot judge, or we cannot interpret, or we cannot state whether the students are good in maths or not. Now, this type of giving, collecting the marks of the students, here the marks of the students is nothing but the data. We are taking the numerical information from the students. Since it is the numerical information from the students, this is called data. Now, this data are of two types. One is ungrouped data and the second is grouped data. Ungrouped data is also called as raw data. If you observe, these marks are giving the scores individually one by one like this is called ungrouped data, or it is also called as raw data. By looking at this data, we cannot judge the intelligence of the students, or we cannot judge the academic performance of the students by observing these marks. It is difficult or it is time taking to know how many students got more than 40 marks and how many students got less than 20 marks. If more students got more than 40 marks out of 50, then you can say that these students are doing good in maths. If large number of students are there below 20, then you can say that the most of the class is poor. So, in order to check out how many students got more than 40 marks and how many students got less than 20 marks, or how many students are there in average, that is from 20 to 40, it is difficult to judge by looking at this data. In such cases, this data is to be grouped now. This data, for this data we have to form a table. You learn how to frame table for this raw data in your 8th class and 9th class, isn't it? Here, now these are the marks of the 24 students, and the marks of these 24 students are given one by one. This type of giving any data is called raw data or ungrouped data. Now you already learned in your 8th class and 9th class how to frame table for this raw data or ungrouped data. You see, first you may take a column like class or class intervals, tally marks and frequency. I took the classes as 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, 41 to 45 and 46 to 50. Here, from in between 6 to 10 marks there is only one student, therefore I took it as 1. Here this is the tally mark. How many tally marks are there in this class? Only one tally mark, therefore the frequency is 1. In between 11 to 15 marks there are 2 students, therefore the frequency is 2. In between 16 to 20 there are 3 students, therefore the tally mark is this and the frequency is 3. Like this you learn how to frame tally marks and how to write the frequency corresponding to these classes. This type of preparing the data, this type of presenting the data is called grouped data. So far we have the scores, individual scores we know so far. Now these individual scores are kept inside a table, therefore this is called grouped data. We framed these scores as in the form of groups, therefore it is a grouped data. From this grouped data you may learn that there is only one student who got less than 10 marks and there are 6 students who got less than 20 marks. There are 4 students who got greater than 40 marks. Like this you can understand. Therefore this is called grouped data. Understood? So far you learned the definition of the statistics and you learn what is a data and what are the different types of data. The first is ungrouped data and the second is grouped data. Now dear children, you may please recollect what is meant by statistics. Statistics is nothing but branch of mathematics which deals with collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation, isn't it? Now you see, in the classroom the teacher, when the teacher announces the marks or when the teacher asks the students to tell their marks, this is nothing but the collection of the data. After getting the data, we organize the data as groups. Therefore, this type of framing table is called organization of data. So far you learned what is collection of data. Collection of data is nothing but asking the students to tell their marks that they scored in format examination. That is nothing but collection of data. Now after getting the data that we got as individual scores are kept in a table. Therefore this is called organization. After organization of the data, now this data can be presented by means of different ways. You see, the data, so far we got the data like this, the classes and frequencies. This data can be presented with bar graphs. These are called bar graphs and these are called histograms. Bar graphs are histograms. The given data is presented by means of bar graphs or histograms, and the same data can also be presented by means of pie diagrams. Pie diagrams and frequency polygons or frequency curves. Understood? This is nothing but the presentation of the data. You can present the data by means of bar diagrams or histograms, or by means of pie diagrams, or by means of frequency polygons or frequency curves. All these is nothing but presentation. First of all, collection. Collection means getting the data from the students is called collection. Or changing the raw data or ungrouped data into grouped data is nothing but organization. After organization, presentation. Presentation is nothing but making or showing the given data in terms of histograms or in terms of pie diagrams or in terms of frequency polygons or curves is nothing but presentation. Or you can present the data numerically also. Not only with the help of the diagrams, with in other modes also, means in numerical tables also you can present the given data. Next is analysis. How can you analyze the data? After getting this, you see these are the marks of the 24 students. Now you can write the maximum score out of all the 24 scores. The maximum score is 49, and you can pick up the minimum score also. Minimum score is 9, and you can pick up the most repeated score which come more number of times, that is 38. This is nothing but analysis. After getting the data, you can analyze what is the maximum score and what is the minimum score and which score is coming most frequently. Like this you can analyze and you can interpret the given data. Dear students, in order to interpret the given data, you see this is the data. In order to interpret, you can find the mean or average of the scores. Average formula, average or mean is nothing but sum of the scores divided by the number of scores. If you add up all these marks, you may get 816 divided by the total number of students 24. Therefore, the average mark of the class is 34. If the average mark of the class is 34, now if you observe each and every student so that you can understand how many students got less than this average. By means of this average score, if you compare this average score with individual scores, we can understand that who is good in the subject and who is still to be improved, who is average. Understood? Therefore, this is nothing but the interpretation of the data. From this example, you may understand the definition of the statistics. Statistics is nothing but the collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of the numerical data. Now dear students, what is the use of this statistics? We already learned the statistics is nothing but the collection of the data, and you can analyze the data, and basing on this analysis you can interpret how many students are good in mathematics or in a particular subject or so. Dear students, the shopkeepers may also use the concept of statistics in their business. For example, let us consider a bookseller. A bookseller may have good number, a large number of notebooks, a large number of pens and a good number of pencils also. But he used to maintain less number of graph books. He used to maintain less number of maps like this, because he used to buy only one graph book in an year. But you may buy more number of white notebooks, and you may buy more number of rule notebooks, and you may buy more number of pens, so that they used to maintain large number of books that are required more. They used to maintain less number of items that are not required, that are not sold regularly, isn't it? For example, in a shop there may be more number of blue pens than red pens, and there may be very less number of green pens. Most of the people may not buy green pen, but most of the people may buy blue pen, and some of the people may also buy red pen. Therefore, the shopkeeper may maintain a large number of blue pens, less number of red pens, and very less number of green pens. He used the concept of statistics only. Similarly, when you visit a cloth shop, a ready-made cloth shop, they may maintain large number of stock, large number of pants that are sold more regularly. That is from 30 to 34 size. 30, 32 and 34 and 36. These sizes they may sell more regularly. Therefore, they may maintain good number of stock, large number of pants of 30 size, 32 size, 34 size and 36 size. Whereas they used to sell very less number of pants below 30 size and above 38 size. Therefore, they may maintain less stock, isn't it? They are also using the same concept of statistics in their business. Similarly, in our daily life, you may observe that the government used to take census, means how many people are living in a particular village and what is their age and what is their occupation and how many children are living in that particular village and how many old people are living in the particular village. Similarly, how many taps and what type of water they are consuming. All these data government used to take. Basing on the data, government can understand the needs of the particular village. If more number of students are there in a particular village and if there is no high school in the particular village, then government can understand that there is a need of high school in the particular village. If more number of students got admission in a particular school, the school need more number of rooms and that school need more number of teachers and other infrastructure facilities are to be provided. The government used to provide infrastructure facilities basing on this statistical data only. Similarly, the statistics are crucial in medical field also. How many number of people are suffering from a particular disease? For example, in these days, in these COVID days, the government used to publish daily report of COVID-19, isn't it? Preparing this data is based on statistics only. Now, measures of central tendencies. There are three measures of central tendencies. First one is arithmetic mean, which is also called as mean or AM. And the second is median and the third is mode. These three are called measures of central tendencies. How many measures of central tendencies are there, dear children? Yes, there are three measures of central tendencies. The first is arithmetic mean, second is median and the third is mode. There are three measures of central tendencies. Now in this class, in our class 10, we can find arithmetic mean, median and mode of the given data. Now let us learn first of all how to find the arithmetic mean, median and mode of a particular ungrouped data. Ungrouped data. For example, I have given a data like 5, 8, 2, 7, 8, 3 and 6. These are the individual scores. Since these are the individual scores, it is nothing but the ungrouped data. It is also called as raw data. If ungrouped data is given, then how to find arithmetic mean and how to find median and how to find mode. Now let us learn now. Here, first of all, let us find arithmetic mean. The formula to find arithmetic mean of a raw data is sum of the scores divided by the number of scores. Sum of the scores means we have to add all the given scores. If we add all these 5, 8, 2, 7, 8, 3 and 6, we may get the sum 39. Therefore, the sum of the scores is 39, and since there are 7 scores, you divide 39 with 7. 39 divided by 7 is 5.57. Therefore, arithmetic mean or average or AM of the given data is 5.57. The next is median. Let us find median for this ungrouped data. In order to find the median of an ungrouped data, first of all, you should write the given data in ascending order or in descending order. Median is nothing but the middle observation in the data, isn't it? Median is nothing but the middle observation in the data after writing in an order. First of all, you write in an order. Let us write the given data in ascending order. The least number is 2, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 and another 8, isn't it? Therefore, first of all you write the given data in ascending order, in a particular order. After writing in particular order, then which is the middle score? 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 8. There are 7 observations. Since there are 7 observations, the middle score is 6. Therefore, this 6 is called median of the data. Understood? Now, if the given data contains an even number of scores, then there will be 2 middle scores, and you have to find the average of the 2 middle scores. That is nothing but median of ungrouped data. You may learn some more examples in the coming videos. Now the third one is mode. Mode is nothing but the most repeated score in the given data. You see, if you observe the data, see 2, 5, 3, 6 and 7, there is no repetition. These scores came only once. But whereas if you observe 8 came twice, isn't it? Therefore the most repeated score in the data is 8. Therefore the mode is 8. Like this, if I have given an ungrouped data, you can find arithmetic mean, you can find median, and you can find mode also. This mean, median and mode are called measures of central tendencies. Understood? Now in this class we learn arithmetic mean, finding arithmetic mean using direct method and using assumed mean method and using step deviation method also. In this chapter we will learn how to find arithmetic mean of a grouped data using direct method, using assumed mean method and using step deviation method. And we also learn how to find the mode of the grouped data. And in this chapter we may learn the median, how to find the median of a grouped data. And we also may learn how to draw an OZ curve, what is meant by an OZ curve, and how to draw an OZ curve, and how to find median from the OZ curve. All we may learn in this chapter. Thank you, Ananda.